Here we see Okarun, Momo, and Gigi asking Grandma for permission to keep Hana at home. Grandma says, "Okarun, why don't you keep her at your place?" Okarun replies, "I can't do that, and besides, you're the one who can keep such specimens at your home." Momo chimes in, "We've already raised a cat, so why can't we keep her?" This makes Turbo Granny angry. Grandma then starts asking about Taro, and we learn that Taro stays in the chemistry lab during the day and comes to meet his beloved Hana at night. Everyone begins to request Grandma to let Hana stay there, and she agrees, saying, "Just one thing to keep in mind. If you get too clingy, it shouldn't disturb others." "And what about Okarun's jingles?" Momo responds, "Those aren't jingles, they were Christmas bells." Grandma then calls everyone for dinner, and Gigi begins to praise Okarun and Momo's powers. Seeing Momo and Gigi getting closer, Okarun starts feeling jealous. He recalls Taro's words, "If you love someone and let them go without doing anything, you will regret it for life." Because of this, Okarun decides he will stay close to Momo. He starts acting strangely and declares, "I've decided that I won't back down anymore, so I will fight too." Momo asks, "And finally, against whom?" Okarun begins singing to express his feelings to Momo, and Gigi starts singing along, but Momo doesn't understand and finds their antics crazy. Grandma then tells them to be quiet. As soon as Okarun learns that Momo is going to Gigi's house for the following week, the ground seems to slip away from under his feet, and he starts questioning Momo about it. She explains everything, and as soon as Okarun realizes that Momo wants to take him along, he becomes excited and starts figuring out how to resolve Gigi's problem quickly. Then we see some children at school playing a game to summon ghosts late at night. Suddenly they hear a scream, which scares them all. We see Taro jumping out of the school window to meet his love. He then takes a train to Momo's town, but Truck-kun gets in the way, causing both his heart and his dreams to shatter. So we witness Momo and Hana waiting for Taro to arrive at around 4 a.m., with Momo encouraging Hana until she eventually falls asleep. Then we see Taro finally reaching his love after facing all sorts of troubles. A moment comes that we can't really relate to. Momo wakes up to see them kissing, and she herself cannot relate to it at all. Taro thanks Momo for staying with Hana and promises he will arrive on time next time. That night, Gigi couldn't sleep because he was seeing ghosts. The next day, Momo, Okarun, and Gigi are heading to Gigi's hometown. They are playing Old Maid on the train, and poor Okarun keeps losing, which makes his rival mock him. Gigi starts handing out candies, which leads Momo and Gigi to reminisce about old times, unintentionally rubbing salt in Okarun's wounds. He thinks, "I shouldn't feel jealous like this, but I can't help it. So I should distract myself by thinking about how I will get my jingles." Then Gigi tries to make Momo laugh again, causing Okarun to feel jealous once more. Okarun decides that he will talk to Momo, so he starts discussing aliens. Momo shows great interest in the conversation, but Gigi cuts in again, talking about a snake that everyone worships, which excites Momo further. Okarun finds a new topic to discuss with Momo about a kappa. This makes Gigi even more excited, and he and Okarun start chatting together, both enjoying the conversation immensely. Gigi says, "Okarun, you're really amazing. You know so much. As a friend, I have started to respect you a lot." Okarun asks, "What did you say?" "We're friends." Gigi responds, "Wait a minute, aren't we? You just broke my heart. If you are Momo's friend, that means you are my friend too." Okarun says, "I'm sorry, but I'm a little weird." This reminds Momo of her favorite actor, Kan Takakura, which makes her stop Okarun from saying more. Okarun thinks, "After all, why isn't Gigi a bad guy? If he keeps being nice like this, I might actually start liking him." They finally arrive in Gigi's town, which is a hot spring district, and Momo is very excited to see it. The townspeople are looking at them strangely, but they are unaware of it. Okarun and Momo say, "Look, our greatest enemy has arrived, the stairs." We see them struggling to reach Gigi's house. Gigi starts asking Momo about the aura around her house, but Momo thinks it looks completely normal. Gigi says, "Really, doesn't it seem weird to you? All the ghost hunters said this place is really bad news. Don't you see anything at all?" At that moment, Okarun notices something glowing in the woods, but he ignores it because Momo calls him. We see the townspeople watching Gigi's house and laughing, looking more like ghosts than people. Momo starts checking the entire house but doesn't feel anything unusual. Bored, she turns on the TV as she's finding nothing. Okarun begins to glare at Gigi, to which Gigi responds, "Are you suspicious of me?" Momo says, "When the ghost hunters came here, they said this place was bad news. This must mean there's a ghost hiding somewhere. If their spirit power is weak, it'll be very difficult for me to detect them. But if they are weak, defeating them will become much easier." Gigi becomes very happy with this and starts praising Momo. Then at Momo's suggestion, Gigi goes out to fetch some juice. Momo tells Okarun to rest since they will be meeting the ghosts only at night. She then leaves Okarun and Gigi alone to enjoy the hot springs. Gigi and Okarun start making plans to play soccer. We see that Okarun doesn't know how to play soccer, prompting Gigi to teach him. Okarun thinks, "I am really terrible at this. Thank goodness my beloved isn't here, otherwise I would be humiliated. But if I practice here, maybe I can show off in front of my beloved at the right time, and she will fall in love with me." Gigi suddenly asks Okarun, "Do you love Momo?" Okarun is taken aback by this question, thinking, "How did this come out?" We then see Momo coming back to Okarun and Gigi because it's been a long time since Okarun made a friend, and she didn't want to intrude. Gigi adds, "What I meant to say is that Momo is cute, right? Anyone could fall in love with her." Okarun replies, "For me, Momo is my first friend, and I respect her a lot because she is very close to me." Gigi then remarks, "Oh, so you respect her?" Okarun admits, "But I also love Momo's face and personality." Soon, both of them start fighting over who likes Momo more. Gigi claims to be closer to Momo by labeling himself as her childhood friend. Then Okarun remembers that he kissed Momo, and he starts feeling embarrassed about it. Meanwhile, Momo is heading back after enjoying the hot springs, but we see that some old men from the town surround her. Back at Gigi's house, Okarun and Gigi are still not ready to give up. Gigi extends his hand to make friends with Okarun, but then he tells him to give up. Okarun, however, isn't willing to surrender. We then notice that Okarun sees something strange in Gigi's house. They realize that there is a peculiar room in Gigi's house that has no entry. At the same time, we see Momo enjoying her time in the hot spring, which is a mixed facility for both males and females. This is why the old men also enter to bathe. Okarun and Gigi start examining the walls of that mysterious room, realizing that it is completely empty inside. They decide that they will break the wall because Gigi suspects that this is the reason his parents are in such a state. Back at the hot spring, the old men slowly start getting closer to Momo, who decides to use her psychic powers to stop them. However, before she can act, they manage to grab her and start submerging her in the water. At this moment, Okarun and Gigi work together to create a hole in the wall. Inside the hole, they find a scene reminiscent of Jujutsu Kaisen, where the area is sealed with incantations meant to trap ghosts. And with that, the episode comes to an end.